So welcome to the First Job Podcast. Today we have with us Abiram. Abiram is from Nagpur and is passed out from YCC College. Abiram, welcome.
Thank you.
Abiram, by the way, is a data guy. Right? He has done his PhD in data science. So Abiram, I would like you to just introduce yourselves and we would like to talk about your journey.
Sure. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Abiram. Did my PhD from VNIT actually. So quite connected to Nagpur, born, brought up, educated, styled in Nagpur, I'll say. And yeah.
YCCN.
YCCN, yes, proud YCCN.
Proud YCCN.
I am also pursuing my research on IoT, big data, and reinforcement learning from UK. I would say data, digital AI is the backbone for me. I have advised industries, big corporates on their data and digital strategy. From biggest package provider in the world, packaged holiday provider in the world, to the backbone of fiber optics in UK, to the FTSE 100 company of packaging products or packaging, plant-based packaging and stuff. I have advised them on their data strategy, how they should be working with their data, acquiring the data, making their data work for them, data-driven decisions and stuff, how they can leverage value out of it. So that's my passion. Data is my passion. AI glorifies it.
See, if in his introduction, if you find out the most frequent word, that word is data.
Yes.
Right? That is what I found.
Data is the fuel. Data is the fuel.
Data is the fuel. That is absolutely true. So, Abiram, in Nagpur, we have a trend of emerging branches nowadays. Emerging branches, what I mean is there is specific AI/ML branch, then there is data science branch, data engineering branch, and there are lots of admissions, lots of students in these branches. And the students are pretty much confused whether they would have jobs or not. And they are also confused whether what they are learning, would that be enough or would that suffice? Would coding be required for getting those data related jobs? Right? They are into the tools, the data tools, Power BI, then MicroStrategy. There are many tools.
True.
Tableau. तो ये tools सीख रहे हैं वो, that is fine. But सिर्फ इनके बदौलत जॉब लग जाएगी?
नहीं, इनके बदौलत जॉब नहीं लगेगी. There are companies who need these tools.
Yes.
There is a vast expanse of industries who are utilizing this day in and day out. So think from a perspective कि X कंपनी को जरूरत है तो वो लेगी, बट वो कब लेगी? जब आपके पास वो राइट एक्सपीरियंस है,
Correct.
आपके पास वो एक्यूमेन है, आपके पास वो एटीट्यूड है टू सॉल्व देयर प्रॉब्लम्स. And the most important part here is to solve their problems.
Yes.
Okay. Are you a problem solver? You need to think from that perspective. Getting a certification, getting a knowledge about a tool, getting the depth of the tool is great. But till that time, you can understand the nuances and utilize to solve a problem. That's the most important part. So आप देखोगे when you are saying कि बहुत सारे अलग-अलग specializations है, but ये specializations में आप देखोगे पहले 2 साल same होते हैं most of the time. क्यों? कि that's the basic.
Yes.
यहाँ basic पे काम करना जरूरी है. Your logic, your attitude towards problem solving has to be accurate. Your things have to be, you should be very clear about your standing, about your knowledge. Like you asked, coding जरूरी है क्या? Yes, coding जरूरी है. The reason for that is not about the syntax. तुम्हें syntax आता है क्या? For loop तो हर language में.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For loop तो तुमको Power BI में भी मिलेगा. True. Right? But for loop लगाने के लिए कौन सा array है और array में कौन सा data है, data कहाँ से आएगा? All these things are the prerequisites which you have to plan, which you have to work on, and that is your planning process, program management process, project management process, algorithm management process,
Yes.
which is being built. And that is going to help you in your day-to-day life, even talking with your superior, senior, talking with your peers, discussing the requirement with the customer. All these things are going to be influenced by what you do in your coding, the basic, the
Absolutely
logic,
correct.
the attitude.
Absolutely correct. He is a typical coder, man. I know him, and I know him as a coder.
True. Coder at heart.
Coder at heart.
Yeah.
And data on the lips.
Yes. True.
Okay. So, Abiram, I would like to know about your journey, right? Maybe where you did your schooling from, then your college life, then your jobs, different jobs that you did. Right? This can be a good motivation for my audience, for our audience.
It was an interesting one. I would say I love what I have done. And like Steve Jobs said, you can join the dots when you see back. I would say that I am what I am because I did those things in that hindsight. Importantly, as you rightly said, I am a coder at heart. I started my programming somewhere when I was in my after my 10th standard itself. Yes.
Okay.
I was blessed to be interfacing with multiple professors and teachers like you who were interested in coding, who were quite into those days with C, C++, Java, and others. But interestingly, I started my coding with BASIC. Okay, and I am a Somalwar student. SOMALWAR. Hamari Shala Somalwar. Yes. So interestingly, in Somalwar there were computers which were there. When I was in 8th or 9th, there were computers, and there was I didn't know what to do with that, but I was fascinated with that, and there were some journals which were put in there which had some basic program written on it. A program of basic, and that was uh, 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 I didn't know what it was. I was just fascinated with the keyboard, so I just typed it out in the way it was, and it was giving me errors. And errors are the biggest motivator.
Yes.
I solved those errors, and eventually I could see some lights flashing. That was the basic program where the lights were flashing, lines were going here and there, and I was amazed by it. How did this happen?
Just one for the viewers. By the way, BASIC is also a programming language. It used to be a programming language of the past. I don't know if it is still there. Visual Basic is there. Some
Basic is the advanced version of BASIC.
But nowadays, students start with C. Right. But then students used to start with BASIC. Even I have started with BASIC. So.
Exactly. So BASIC, I work with Fortran, COBOL, Siebel, all that side of the story. So that's how things have evolved. And just to give you an idea, nobody is using it nowadays. Nowhere near, because of the advancements of the languages and because of the advancement of the technology. But that is the thing which forms your character of coding, let's say. Right?
Yes.
So yeah, mainly interest in coding. I used to take odd jobs. My mother was in a bank. I was interfaced with the banking managers and stuff. I was like, can I do something for you? I used to create some calculation programs for them. And thankfully, I used to get money out of it as well.
That's nice.
Yeah. So those were the times when internet was costly, not available. So there were the only thing which you could do is code by yourself, not copy paste.
Correct.
But yeah, that was interesting. While I was working onto this and enjoying my time, there was a time when I could interface with the public communities of Microsoft and Java. That was the time when JSRs were a thing, Java specification reviews, where so how would Java server pages should be put up and evolved There were specifications which were put in public and people could review them and give their comments onto them. That was the time when software was free.
That was Facebook of that time.
Yes, true. Technical
Facebook, correct.
And I was interfaced to those forums by a very good guy. What I have, Paragdesh Pandey, you must be knowing about him. So I'm expecting the students nowadays do get the interfaces like from people like you because of your knowledge. But I'm obliged. I had that guide, not my teacher, not in my college, but just
somewhere you got connected,
and that was a place where I could evolve my thinking, how people are doing stuff, how differently are the thought processes, what is the global view of a requirement and stuff. Because we in our tiny brain think that we are great, but our solutions are small. Because we have a small perception of things. When you get onto the wider focus, you see, oh, these might be the reasons why a certain requirement needs to be flowered in this way.
Correct.
And that helps in our coding as well. That helps in our logic as well. That's the way your kaksha rundavtat म्हणतात.
Correct.
So it increases your scale, it increases your gamut.
Thought process में branches खुल जाती है.
Yes. And that was another angle to my tech journey, let's say. While doing this, being an entrepreneurial brand, I wanted to start something of my own, but those were not the times, I would say.
Correct.
So I got into multiple jobs. I have been a lecturer at YCC college as well.
Oh, is it? Oh, that is nice.
You are also from YCC.
Yes.
I might have taught you.
I don't remember. I generally remember my teachers, but I never used to be in the class. But anyways, that's a separate matter. Students do not follow this.
But yeah, that was an interesting time as well. Basically, again, I love data. At that time also, I had done my thesis on means the final year research and project on data, and that's why I could take it forward with the students and talk with what project they should be doing. There was an interesting project, I remember, mobile databases. Now we have big databases, but are there mobile databases where the data can be duplicated and stuff? That was one of the projects I worked with the students, and I was amazed the way when an idea was presented, how the kids could work on it, right? So it's just about opening your thought processes, making yourself available, and understanding the changing world, and you can solve a lot of things.
Yes, that is absolutely true, Abiram. Then post YCC,
I did my MTech from MNIT Allahabad. Wonderful 2 years.
Okay.
Interestingly, there were campus interviews there. Priorly, it was a recession time.
Yes.
2002, no jobs, nothing was available at that time. But after my MTech, things were opening up, and of course, had lots of interviews there. Interestingly, I had an interview with Microsoft.
Okay.
In MNIT. I was selected in that interview, and I didn't go for the job. And the reason,
I guess you would be. I mean, did you have any other offer?
Yes, I did have another offer with the Australia New Zealand banking group.
Okay.
It was a good offer. Both were great offers.
I mean, this is interesting. I would like to know, why didn't you go for Microsoft? I mean, do you regret it?
Not actually. I don't regret it. But on a personal scale, it didn't change whatever I would have done otherwise. It would have given me a lift differently, because when you see something like Microsoft in the resume, it changes the perception of things.
Correct.
But not much for me, because again, I had a good academic background. And my attitude towards coding was great, so it didn't
hamper as such. Okay.
But at the same time, I think and retrospect, why did I do that? And
so did you get a reason?
Yeah, the reason at that time was pretty simple. I am a Java guy, and Microsoft.
Now, that is Nagpuri, I would say. That is purely Nagpuri, I would say.
Exactly.
Okay.
There were only 2 people selected from the college in Microsoft, but all my friends were not selected. One my MCA guy and one me. And they were like, "Why don't you go to Microsoft?" I'm like, "I am not going to Microsoft."
We like platform independence.
Yes, I like to be open. I like the freedom very much.
Okay, very nice. I mean, I haven't heard anyone. At least this reason for not joining Microsoft. Okay, I can think of other companies, but
and the interesting part is when my I also guided the other guy. He was an MCA guy. When I was in MTech, I guided him on his project. Sorry. And when he joined Microsoft and he started his work, he was working on Java.
Then probably you might have regretted.
Yeah,
anyways,
interesting days.
Nice.
Interesting days.
That is nice. Okay, then post Allahabad?
Post Allahabad, yes, got into Bangalore, Australian New Zealand banking group. I had the job offer, wonderful days, good amount of coding, lots of exposure into Australian side of the business and banking sector. Was toying between different roles, whatever they pushed me into. This pushed me in as a junior BA, but me being a coder used to code things and show it to the developer. This is what you have to do. But yeah, those were interesting days. Being a fresher is always enjoyable. Lots of things to learn. Lots of different people to meet. Lots of different ideas coming in. And the best part is you don't have a burden of performing or proving yourself, because you're just finding your ground. So that was the best time from a job perspective. Then moved back to Nagpur, rather. Did my 6 years in persistent systems.
Okay.
That was a good time. Rose from ranks to ranks. And then while I was working there was a startup from UK. They wanted me to head their technology side in Nagpur itself. Interestingly, they were from Nagpur, Delivery Cube. And they had shifted to UK, and they wanted to start a e-commerce fronting product company. And that was my first stint inside a product domain, where I could define and design and implement a product than just working on the customer's idea as a service. So that was a paradigm shift for me, where I was thinking, there are umpteen options where I can develop something which I think can be useful to a customer.
Correct.
Yeah. So that was an interesting one. From there, with lots of knowledge of e-commerce and e-commerce world, and the huge amount of data I could gather out there, I branched out.
Your fuel.
Yeah, exactly. My fuel. I was like, oh my God, there is so much possibility here. And that's where I started creating my own snippets of personalization algorithms into the AI world. AI was very nascent at that point in time, but I was aspiring to have hyper personalization as a possibility. And in the hyper personalization world, the data points which I was gathering inside of the e-commerce platform were limited. You would say, what is limited? They are buying the clothes, and they have a history of what they have bought and things around that. But while I was going ahead and working with the likes of Tesco's, I could see that it's not just the e-commerce or the platform which is having a person interested, but it's the floor and the clothes and the setup of things inside a mall and everything is also an important factor there.
Yes.
And while I was working on my requirement gathering, I could see those nuances and how where a person is standing, for how much time he is standing in front of a mannequin with a dress he's seeing or something like that. Those are also important data points which can be captured, and the personalization can be given from that perspective. And when you have your mind open, you have lots of ideas. And I discussed that with the CTO of FNF in Tesco, London. And she was amazed that, yes, this can be possible, but how can we capture it? And we started a new project called Folio in there, with partnership with Cisco. And Folio was a screen where, depending on the likes of individual, the set of clothes could be proposed, but at the same time on that screen you can see yourself, and like you have in the virtual augmented reality, you can see yourself wearing the dress.
Wearing that dress.
So and that was the hooking of a customer in the shop floor as well. So those were a few interesting things which I did at that point in time. But then after that, after a few years, I moved on to UK with this newfound interest into personalization and data and stuff. I moved into my own entrepreneurial journey. Started engaging with different clients in different domains, from travel to manufacturing to others. And now here I am doing different projects, different things for them, working out their data platforms, making their data available for all the beautiful stories which I can view with AI and augmented reality and others.
That's a long, long journey, Abiram. And I would say it's a data-fied journey.
Yes.
All data, data. So data is driving you from places.
Rather,
from one
data
place to
should
another.
drive everyone.
Yes, data should ideally drive everyone. That is also absolutely correct. Okay, so that was about your journey. Abiram, then how were you as a student? How mischievous were you? I would just reframe that question. How mischievous were you as a student?
Ask my friends, or rather, ask my teachers. So I can't explain much. Again, YCC student.
Yes.
That was the first year of YCC. And we were asking, okay, it's Sankranti, 14th of January, we should be having 14th of January, right?
Yes, yes.
We should be having a holiday. And they were, why do you want a holiday on Sankranti? We have to fly the kites, right? Patang udwaयची आहे, सुट्टी पाहिजे. But no, we didn't get a holiday. So what did we do? We took the patang to the college. On the top of the terrace, we were flying the kite. Yes. And all of the students were on the top of the terrace on the first year building. We were flying kites. Teacher were visiting the rooms. Oh, we are in the college.
I remember taking a bullock cart to the college on day of Pora.
Oh,
okay, so that is good. That is what defines a true ICCM. Okay. Then Abiram, what I would also like to know is from students' point of view. Right? If you could guide them on how important is not deviating from their basics, not deviating from coding, and they can choose the field they want. They can get into data science. They can get into typical application development. But what should be the foundation? If you could just throw some light on it, वो बहुत अच्छा होगा. Because मैं आज क्या देख रहा हूँ, स्टूडेंट बहुत डेविएट हो रहे हैं एंड वो अलग अलग चीजें, सब मार्केटिंग गिमिक्स है, कोई ये कर रहा है, सब लो कोड प्लेटफॉर्म्स की तरफ जा रहे हैं, लेकिन लो कोड प्लेटफॉर्म्स में वो केवल स्क्रीन्स बनाने में ही उनको स्क्रीन्स ही बनाना आता है. But that is not the real scenario. If you could throw some light on it, that would be good.
Again, as I said, the clarity of thought, the logic, and the attitude is very important.
हाँ.
ये जो चीजें है ये बेसिक्स से ही मिलती है. Ask yourself what you want to be, and if that is something substantial, then you have to work on your logic, you have to work on your basics. The low code was developed by those who had that strong.
Yes. Yes.
Right? लो कोड आ सकता है बिकॉज वो पैटर्न स्टडी कर सकते हैं क्या रिपीटेबल है.
Yes.
राइट. एंड इसीलिए लो कोड या नो कोड बनता है, बट वो पैटर्न्स एक लिमिट तक आते हैं.
हाँ, करेक्ट.
उसके बाद तो तुमको एक्चुअल मीट देना ही पड़ता है. अगर लो कोड तुम कर सकते हो तो लो कोड कोई भी कर सकता है. सो व्हाट आर यू डिफरेंट, व्हाट आर यू ब्रिंगिंग ऑन टू द टेबल, ये तुमको पूछना पड़ेगा. एंड द आंसर वुड बी, oh, I want to be the one who people turn to when there's a crisis.
Yes.
Right? And if that is the case, you are irreplaceable. And to be irreplaceable, you need the confidence in yourself. And low code, no code, or anything similar to that is not going to give you that.
Yes.
You have to solve the problem on the ground, and that is through the basics.
Yes.
I remember the part where I have never worked with a language or a problem, but I could solve that only on a telephone call. कि एक XYZ फ्रेमवर्क है, हाइब्रिस करके फ्रेमवर्क है
SAP का.
हाँ, इन ई कॉमर्स का. SAP bought it later, but it was not SAP at that time. हाइब्रिस का फ्रेमवर्क है, जावा में है, बट आई हैड नॉट वर्कड ऑन दैट. या ATG फ्रेमवर्क है, उस टाइम पे मैंने काम नहीं किया था. बट जब प्रॉब्लम, ओ अभिराम वी हैव अ प्रॉब्लम लाइक दिस, दैट ये ट्रांसलेट नहीं हो रहा है या इसका हैंडल नहीं मिल रहा है, और व्हाटएवर इज दैट, मैं वी कैन डू दिस डेवलपमेंट. आई कुड pinpoint the problem in 10 minutes of phone discussion. Okay, what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this, how is this, and okay, that is your problem.
That is your problem. Correct.
Right? Why can you do that? Because you have your basics right. कैसे मुझे प्रोग्राम लिखना है, दो मेथड्स कैसे एक दूसरे से बात करती है, कर्नल क्या होता है, all these things are very important because then you can visualize things to nth level and
correct,
solve that. So that is very, very important that you have your basics right.
Correct.
You have your coding at your fingertips. You have your knowledge. You remember हम छोटे थे या स्टार्ट में वो एक फ्लो चार्ट करके चीज बना, वो फ्लो चार्ट हमें प्रोग्राम लिखने के लिए बनाया करते थे. But for flowchart is such a basic and such a important thing.
Yes.
Such a important thing. My son is 16. Okay, he is working in मतलब अभी SSC यहाँ का जैसे है, वैसा उसका GCSE है. He was he does this Python and stuff like that. Okay, and he said he does a lot of programming. He loves programming, but एक आध दो प्रॉब्लम आते हैं and प्रॉब्लम करते करते ये सॉल्व ही नहीं हो रहा, ये हो ही नहीं रहा. मैंने बोला कोल्ड रन करके देखा. Did you do a cold run? And they don't know cold runs.
Yes.
I hope you know cold runs. If not, do it for yourself. But ये जो cold runs होते हैं, ये तुम्हारा लॉजिक चेक करते हैं, ये तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं. एंड वो कोल्ड रन्स तुम कर सकते हो बिकॉज यू नो समथिंग लाइक फ्लो चार्टिंग, समथिंग लाइक प्लानिंग योर कोड, समथिंग लाइक स्टेप्स वाइज क्या होता है. ये तो कन्वोल्यूटेड प्रोग्राम होने को टाइम नहीं लगता.
यस, दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली ट्रू.
और एक इंटरेस्टिंग बात ये होती है कि थिंक फ्रॉम अ पर्सपेक्टिव, ये तो प्रॉब्लम मैंने सॉल्व कर दिया, बट ये और कैसे बेटर हो सकता है. राइट. I don't know nowadays what you teach, guys, but most importantly, I'm thinking something like the big O notations.
Yes,
right.
We do teach.
These are the things which are very, very important into the stability and efficiency of a program or an application.
Yes.
With low code, no code, you don't have control over this. You don't have control over this, right? When you are playing, same thing, Ved, my son's name, Ved, and is like, okay, Baba, this is a program, ये ऐसा हमने किया है, ये मैंने किया है, अच्छा किया ना, और सोच. How can you do it?
Do it in a different way.
3 arrays use कर दिए, मैं एक array कैसे use करूँ? मैं इसका n क्यूब या n स्क्वायर इसका ये है वो नोटेशन, मैं उसको कम कैसे करूं, राइट? सो उससे क्या होगा? ओह, थिंक ऑफ इट, दिस इज जस्ट वन प्रोग्राम. इसमें अगर मेमोरी बढ़ती है इतना ही प्रोसेस करने के लिए, ऐसे 50 प्रोग्राम्स तुम एक साथ रन करोगे पैरेलल में, तो मेमोरी कितनी लगेगी, कंप्यूटिंग पावर कितनी लगेगी, प्रोसेसिंग कितना लगेगा, मेमोरी साइज कितना लगेगा, उसके लिए कितनी कॉस्ट देनी पड़ेगी, राइट? ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग प्रॉब्लम्स है which you need to think about, and you can think about that, not any Tom Dick Harry who doesn't know the nitty-gritties of it, right? That's what makes you great. Be great.
that is awesome. And I mean we एक आजकल एक ट्रेंड चल रहा है कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग, इफ यू नो, ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म्स है, लीड कोड, हैकर अर्थ है, these are very very good platforms. And उस पे कैसे टेस्ट केसेस ये लोग रन करते हैं, and so whatever code you write उस पे they check the time and space complexities, and unless you clear all those the test cases, right, you do not solve that problem even though you are getting the output. So they run against one input, then 10 inputs, then 10 square inputs, then 10,000 inputs, and then 1 crore inputs. So that's how these people
Wonderful,
do. So,
wonderful.
yes, that is a very very good platform. Even I am thinking of building such kind of a platform now for the students. So students, yes, this is a very very good advice. If you are a fresher, ये आपने करना ही चाहिए. You have to do it. Dry run, cold run. हमारे वक्त debuggers नहीं होते थे, if you remember. Nowadays, these people have debuggers. But trust me, 99% of the engineers don't know how to debug a Java program. They do not know what a breakpoint is. That is still the scenario. If they know breakpoint डालने से कितनी जिंदगी हमारी, we know अपनी जिंदगी कितनी आसान हो गई है. So okay, great.
अगर ब्रेक पॉइंट कोडिंग के टाइम डालोगे तो ब्रेक पॉइंट आपको प्रोडक्शन कोड में नहीं डालना,
Production code में नहीं डालना, that is absolutely.
नहीं तो रातें खराब हो जाएगी.
I remember the sleepless nights. Yes. Okay, so that is awesome, Abiram. We are starting with the quick fire round as well. Right?
Okay.
So I would ask you short questions, and I would like very quick answers from you. Right? So just to make this interesting. So C++ or Java or Python?
Oh, take a guess.
I am a hardcore C++ guy, by the way.
Yeah, Java for me. Java for me.
Any reasons?
Oh, it's a strongly typed language. I can think into that, and importantly, it's platform independent.
Yes.
I can run it anywhere.
Okay.
That was the first thing which came something like that, right? You can run it anywhere. You can run it on laptop. You can run it on mobile, and the bytecode takes care of it.
Correct. So, which one is your favorite? Job in India or job outside India?
Quality or quantity? Job outside India.
Okay. So, job outside India, you would qualify?
The reason for that is just because I have been in India. I wanted to continue in India, but problem at that time, I don't know the scenario now. At that time, 15 years, 10 years back, it was the number of hours you spend on the job that was more important than what quality of code or what quality of problem you solve.
Yes,
I love my India.
True even today.
Yes,
correct.
I love my country. I love my India, but the currency at this moment we are playing in India is human man hours. Man hours is what is sold, not the quality of the code and the quality of things. Not might be some organizations where it is not. I know few, but most of the time that's the case. And at least from a service industry perspective, that's the case. How many man hours, and it's the sales game than a developer's game.
Yes.
I am a developer. I want the stage to be rigged for me than for anybody else, right?
Okay. So next question: service-based company or product-based company? Which one would you prefer?
Product-based company, definitely product-based company, because I have a liberty to develop what I want by working with the BAs, working with the UX, and understanding the customer.
Okay.
I can deliver more value to the customer in a product-based company than in a service-based company.
Okay. Then biggest coding challenge that you have faced in your entire journey? I mean, I know it is very difficult to point out one.
Yes,
But just
there are umpteenths of those, and there were wonderful times of those. Uh, I, I would means one comes to my mind. I was working in ANZ, and from ANZ perspective, that means I was in the Java developers. Let's be clear of that. But it's a banking company, banking domain, and from banking domain perspective, there are lots of development which happen on mainframes. So COBOL,
GCLs.
CBEL, all those are the languages. One of my very good friend was working on AS400 and for fraud detection Falcon product, and he had enhanced something into it, and that was to be deployed. So it was passed on to the tester first for the testing, and the tester found out there was a bug, and he sent it back. That was evening 6, and the tester went away. And my friend was working on it. I was a bachelor at that time, and like, chalna bhai khana khane, chalna bhai khana khane. So it was like, ye solve karne de, phir aata hu, ye solve karne de, phir aata hu. And we were there 10, 11, it was not helping then. And I also started working with him, kya kar rahe, kya dekhe, and again, basics, right? It's coding. So we sat in there. It was 3 in the morning. We couldn't solve it. There was no issue in that. It was a small piece of program where we couldn't solve it. अतरंगी दिमाग, पूरा कोड मिटाया, पूरा कोड वैसे का वैसे फिर से लिखा, and it worked.
And it worked. This has happened with me as well. Right, 10 lines of code. Everything I am looking at it for 1,000 times. Everything is perfect. If I remove that, if I rewrite it again, it is working.
Right.
And God only knows.
No. Let me get in there. There is no God there. Because, again, solve कर दिया problem. Everything was fine. We were so pissed off.
Yes.
कि क्या है ये? Stuff, CBEL is वो ऐसा, all that stuff, all the tahesh. And in this case, the best solution is go to sleep. Next day, you have a fresh mind. Look, जब तक वो problem solve नहीं होता, problem solve नहीं हुआ था, सिर्फ error ही solve हुआ था. Problem ये था कि ये ऐसा है, हुआ क्यों? Right? The problem which we debugged and rather understood is about the ASCII codes and everything which are in the back end. तुमको दिखता एक चीज है, कंपाइलर को जाती अलग चीज है, क्योंकि बीच में क्या है, बीच में तुम्हारा एडिटर है, and editor is you don't control, that is somebody else writing that editor.
Yes.
Right? So interestingly, look at the programs which gives these problems. These are copy pasted programs.
Yes.
When you copy it from one place to another place, the ASCII values can change.
Yes.
And when these ASCII values change, the interpretation of the compiler or the thing is different in that.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Okay.
So there is a problem solved.
I can relate to that. Then, who's your favorite actress?
Oh, Aishwarya Rai.
We'll match on that. And your favorite sport?
Favorite sport? Oh, that's an interesting one. I would have said swimming.
Okay.
I love swimming. I used to be into the national teams there. But had to stop because of health issues. Now I play cricket.
Okay.
Yeah, for 50 overs cricket in UK for my county. Yeah.
You still play?
Yes, I still play.
That's the reason you are so fit now.
I still play 50 overs cricket whole day. My wife scolds me because her Saturday goes away. But cricket is cricket, right?
Yes, cricket is cricket. Okay, so I guess Abiram, that was amazing talking to you. And I've enjoyed these last 15-20 minutes like anything. Right. One last thing which I would ask you specifically for our freshers. Right. What tech do you expect from a fresher?
I expect a logic from fresher. I expect a problem-solving thing from a fresher. And I expect a mastery in one of the language from fresher. Any language. Any language. I need a mastery in that language. Because logic, attitude, and problem solving attitude and language is a complete package. It's a complete package in itself. Logic is helping you to solve to understand things right and perceive the essence of it and give the answers. Problem solving is an attitude. If you have the logic, but if you don't solve the problem, you are worthless.
Yes.
Right? And language is our DNA. If you see, programming is our DNA. You can be good at logic and problem solving, and you can be miles away from software.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Because you don't know the language, or you don't know how to solve the problem which I want you to.
Yes.
Or the industry wants you to. So these are the very important three things, and they can't. Anyone missing is not a good feel for me. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Abiram. It was again wonderful talking with you.
Same here.
And I hope this interview finds a good.
I hope so as well.
Yes, it does.
Keep challenging yourself, guys. Be on your toes. This is the best time of your life when you can learn the most, enjoy the most, and evolve the most. So, best of luck.
Okay. Thank you.